Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up on the show today, I'm doing least favorite album covers. So I've had a look through my collection and picked out some album covers that I don't think are that good. Maybe could have been better, perhaps just a little bit unusual. It's all very subjective, but this is what I've chosen. And I probably could have chosen a few more, but just narrowed it down to a few. So the first one I chose is Samson and their live album called Thank You and Good Night. Not sure if I've shown this album before, but I mean, what is going on here? Who saw this picture and thought, this is a great photo to put on the front cover of our live album? I mean, it's like they're going to start French kissing each other. But anyway, this is Nicky Moore, and I think that's Samson there, Paul Samson. Now, interesting too is that, and there's other examples of the album covers I'm going to show today where there are alternative album covers. Maybe some other people saw this cover, and I'm assuming maybe what happened to some of the other album covers, and thought, that's terrible, we should change it. But so yeah, you will see, I will mention to you some of the other covers I'm showing that there's actually alternative album cover for those albums. But yeah, so that's my first one, Samson, Thank You and Good Night. All right, next one. This is an interesting band. This is Dear Mr. President, and their album, I think it's just self-titled. Now, this was produced by Mick Jones from Foreigner. To be honest, not a lot of information here. Now, if you look at the back, there's a picture of the band at the back. They do look a lot more sort of like they could be hair metal, but actually they're not at all, really. They're kind of more alternative rock. The song Fate is the only real reason I bothered to keep this album. It's quite good, but I mean, the album cover, it's just like, I don't even know what this is. Like, it's like, is this like a fingerprint or some sort of, it looks like it probably is, but maybe that's been smudged, but it's in red ink. It's pretty, otherwise it's just basic black. If you look, actually, there's a picture of the band at the back, yeah, looking quite hair metal. And even here, like, yeah, this is the picture again, but you can see a much bigger picture of them. That would totally, you'd think this is going to be like LA Guns or something like that, but yeah, no, not at all. And yeah, so not a great album cover, but the weird thing is too, a year later, they re-released this album, different album cover, also a slightly unusual album cover, but different. And the band has changed. They're now called Flesh and Blood, but it's exactly the same album. So it's exactly the same album. The track listing order has changed a little bit, but yeah, on Atlantic. They must have just thought, let's give it another shot. We'll just change the band name. It didn't work. But one other thing though, Julian Raymond, he's quite a well-known singer, songwriter, producer. He's in this band at this time. All right, next one. This is well-known cover. AC/DC, Flick of the Switch. So, yeah, I mean, I get the idea being here that, hey, this is just a real basic, it's all about the music and basically turning it up really loud. And I think that was kind of what they were going for, but it's basically just a very, very simplistic illustration. It's actually been done by an artist, so I thought I'd better look into this, because sometimes I diss these album covers and then find out later it's, done by a legitimate artist. And yeah, so it was done by an artist called, his name's Brent Richardson, illustrator artist. He did this, and it was basically, though, an idea from Angus Young. Angus Young either sketched it out for him or gave him the idea. And my understanding is that Angus wasn't actually that happy with it. He actually wanted the AC/DC to be embossed like on the Back in Black album, but this is my understanding that the tour manager for AC/DC has said that I think it was Atlantic, didn't want to pay to do that because they didn't think this album had any hit singles on it and wasn't going to be a hit, so they didn't want to fork out money for an embossed album cover. I don't know if it would really make that much difference. It's still very simplistic. I mean, I guess I don't mind it, it is what it is, but there's really not a lot happening here. And of course, AC/DC, probably not really famous for having great album covers. But this is not one of the worst I'm showing today, but definitely you'd think with a band like AC/DC, it could have been better. And I think the idea with the illustration is he's turning on the switch. But even that, it's hard to even work out what is going on there. But yeah, anyway, AC/DC, flick of the switch. And not one of my favorite AC/DC albums. There are some good songs on it, and I know some people really like it. But yeah, and I've given it a fairly good chance. But I mean, there are some good songs on it, but it's a bit hit and miss for me. But you know, Badlands is good. Guns for Hire, yeah, there's some good ones, but nothing particularly memorable. All right, talking about embossed covers. Great White had one with their debut album. Now this is very basic though, right? It's just got Great White. Yes, it is embossed, and then you sort of have Great White written under, embossed underneath it and over the top of it. So basically the band name 4 times, and otherwise it's just black, with one of the embossed Great White being in white. I mean, when I got this and I saw it was a promo copy, I thought, oh, maybe this was just because it's a promo copy. No, this was the album cover. Came out on EMI. This is an American press. And on the back, they've got... Now this, again, this is another example where there's an alternative album cover, and the alternative album cover is this. So these guys on the back, and then it had Great White, their logo, on the front, which would have been better, which is a better option, I feel. But this one, just Great White written on the back. The band's picture of the band on the back, but also there's no song titles. I don't know why they decided not to put any song titles, but there's absolutely no song titles. So you don't even know like how many songs are on this, what's on this, which is really weird. And that's, yes, it is a promo copy, but that was, I think, the same for the just the normal copies that weren't promo copies. So yeah, but again, another example, there is an alternative album cover, just so much better. Next one, Rhino Bucket. Talking about AC/DC. These guys get compared to AC/DC a little bit. This is their debut album. I don't really quite get this. So it's got the title of the band down the side. That's okay. But this picture, it's sort of like hard to sort of describe. I guess you might not even be able to pick it up or see it, but I think it's a guy like playing the guitar with a little sort of like motion as the guitar is moving up or down in his hands. But and then it's got this sort of red shading, and then it's got like a different kind of shade on the top. Really hard to work out what it is, what you're looking at. Yeah, just I don't think it's very effective at all. The back is great. The back is a lot better. Little pictures of the band. And there's like, I don't know, a little shot there of maybe some letters the band have received or notes they've taken down, coffee cups. Just like a typical sort of what you might see backstage when the band's playing or something like that. But that's fine. But yeah, front cover, not so great. Yeah, I think this is their debut album. They've put out quite a few albums. And yeah, one of those bands that if I was doing a show, bands that sound like AC/DC, these guys would be on it. All right, next one. A little bit more obscure. It's a band called Javin. Javin? I'm not sure if I'm even saying this right. I think they're a German band, and it's called Somewhere in the Night. Yeah, it's pretty obscure. There's a picture of the band at the back. It's not bad. It's pretty good sort of, this is 1991 actually, so early 90s hair metal, melodic, but, fairly heavy as well at times, but you wouldn't call it's not straight up, heavy metal. But yeah, just the cover, it's like you can actually see, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but you can actually see the pencil lines where they've written in and then coloured over it. Maybe it's supposed to look a little bit like a bootleg or something like that, or I don't know, but it's just, yeah, you can see the pencils, and also on the back you can see where the song titles have been written. You can almost, if you look really close enough, it almost seems like you can see where they've handwritten in pencil and then gone over it in like coloured pencil or something like that. But just really very basic sort of background. So yeah, I think that one could have been a bit better. I'm not sure if I've talked about this one. Silent Rage and Don't Touch Me There. I just don't get it. I mean, I know the guy's got, good abs and everything like that, but really, do we need to see it on the front cover? Yeah, I think here they are all at the back. It kind of doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. Like, is he even in the band? I mean, I think he is, but we don't know, right? We don't know. We can't see his face. Yeah, so I have a feeling it might be that guy, but I mean, because he's looking a bit ripped there, isn't he, with his arms out and everything like that. But yeah, I don't quite get the idea of it. I mean, yeah. Anyway, not a bad album though. It's on Simmons Records. Maybe Gene thought this was a good idea. He's the executive producer. I mean, this is actually their second album, but there are some couple of songs I think they were on their first album that they also put on this album. And I think I've said before, Rebel with a Cause, I think was the single from this album. It's a really good song. The rest is a bit sort of hit and miss, but produced by Paul Sabu, but also some are produced by Gene Simmons as well. Their first album was produced by Paul Sabu as well. I think they put about another album after this, or a couple of albums after this. And the vocalist, the singer, has also done some solo stuff as well. So let's have a look here. Just get the inner sleeve out. And I think his name's Jesse, I think. Jesse Damon. Jesse Damon. That might be him there, I'm not sure. He's done some solo stuff as well, which is pretty similar. Sounds pretty similar. Good hard rock stuff. Not the best album cover. All right, next one. This is a band called Reckless and No Frills. And I get the idea, right? It's a No Frills album cover, right? So the album's called No Frills. It's got these little smudge marks on here. It's like little black sort of ink marks. I'm assuming this is part of the artwork and not something that's accidentally just happened on my white album cover. But I actually don't know, because it's like, it could be. Although, again, you see, I've still got the plastic wrap over it. So I don't think that is. I think it's supposed to be like that, especially as it's on this corner as well. So, the back's okay, I guess. Got this. It's pretty basic, but it's got little, Polaroid shots of the band. So you look at the back and you go, okay, they look like a sort of hard rock, sort of hair metal type band. But you wouldn't know from looking at the front. And released in 1987 on Atlantic. So, is it Atlantic? Yeah, Atlantic. Yeah. So, and produced, I think, by the guys from Twisted Sister. Yeah. Mark Mendoza and JJ French. So they're the producers. But, this didn't do much. And I'm not, the album cover, I'm sure, didn't help. All right, next one. This is, I think, German, female-fronted, hard rock. Came out early 90s. There's a picture. I think I've talked about this band before on my female-fronted, one of my female-fronted shows. The band themselves, the guys don't even look like they sound like, right? There's basically, this is like hair metal, but they don't look that way. We've got short hair. She looks pretty good there in the middle. You can tell she's like the singer and this, the sort of star of the band, I guess. And it's really good. Some great songs on here. But this front cover, the album's called Heartbreaker. I don't know if she's in pain or it's a pleasurable experience. And again, another one of those ones where there is an alternative album cover. Maybe they saw this and thought, maybe we should change the cover. So there is an alternative album cover for this one, I think. But, talking of pleasure and pain, Tob Rock. Tob Rock? Yeah, I think that's how you say it. One of my least favourite names for a band, I'd have to say. I don't even know what a Tob Rock is, if I'm saying it correctly. But yeah, this is pleasure plus pain. And again, very basic, just mainly white. And then you can sort of, very hard to see, but there's a strip here, and I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to pick this up, but there's a lady here who's got like sort of not very much clothing on. Looks like she's got like a gym outfit, and she's kind of like kind of like very sweaty. I mean, it'd be a great picture, perhaps, potentially, if you could actually see it. Looks like maybe she's working out or something, but it's very hard to tell. Maybe that's how it links to pleasure and pain. So I don't know. But, yeah, like I say, you can barely even see the picture. And, the back's okay, I guess. Oh, there we go. So you get a bit more of an idea on the back because you can look at her. You can actually see her here and see, oh, yeah, she's got like some weight thing that she's been sort of, stretching her arms with and so forth. And you can get quite a good look at her hair. But on the front, you can barely see her. Maybe that was the idea because it's a bit, maybe not appropriate or something to have on the front cover. I know they were worried about being censored or something. But, I mean, she's not revealing anything. But, well, not too much. I mean, yeah, I'd say it would be fine. I've seen much worse on album covers. But, yeah, I just think that would have been better than that, where you can barely see anything. But, yeah, there we go. Couple more. This one is Force and Set Me Free. Now, it's actually, I mean, perfectly acceptable, I guess, album cover. If this was like some thrash, heavy metal, hardcore band, like really intense. And then look at the back too. It's like, whoa, if I had seen this, I was too heavy for me. This will be like some death metal, thrash metal type thing. And it's like, oh, no. Can't, I'm not going to bother with this one. But having heard it, I do know that it's not like that at all. So this came out on Heavy Metal Records in 84. And I guess that might have gave me a bit of a clue that, it's probably not 84. Things haven't got too heavy yet. And maybe looking at the song titles, Don't Throw My Love Away. Doesn't sound like, the kind of song a thrash band or death metal band would sort of do, eh? But yeah, the album art does not match up. This is like melodic hard rock. It's not heavy at all, AOR, but it's good. It's actually really good. I like it. But like I say, I don't know what they were thinking with the album art. I mean, it is on Heavy Metal Records. Heavy Metal Records had a lot of artists that weren't really heavy metal, even back in the 80s. Like, it's not that heavy. But they had some good artists, they had some good albums. But yeah, and like I say, I don't mind the album art. I just think they should have given it to another band. And it's sort of to finish off with a little bit similar here. This is Serge Ant. I don't know if I'm saying this right. But again, sort of cartoony kind of album art. There's the front. There's nothing really much on the back at all. But this came out in 84. And again, it's very similar type of AOR, melodic hard rock, not heavy at all. But you might have thought so with the sort of skeleton there. This came out on Mausoleum Records. And Mausoleum's kind of, from what I've noticed, their album covers are kind of make the sort of, they're kind of so bad they're good kind of thing. I quite enjoy them. But yeah, they often don't match up with the music at all. So Mausoleum actually pretty good label. There's some good. They put out some good stuff in the sort of early mid 80s. But yeah, and this is a good band. They released another album after this, but like I say, don't expect anything too heavy. If you like sort of they sound a little bit like I mean, not even as heavy as Foreigner perhaps. It's kind of it's just AOR, Journey maybe a little bit. But I mean, yeah, it's hard to kind of necessarily compare them to a well-known band, but just hard rock, melodic, hard rock, AOR. Worth checking out. I think a couple of albums, but yeah, not heavy at all. And like I was saying, that came out on Mausoleum, and here's a album by a band called K West, First Invasion. This is also Mausoleum, and again, this is the kind of, it's not even that bad an album cover, I guess, but it's a little bit bizarre. There's this sort of naked lady there, and there's this guy. I mean, I guess it's linking to sort of the war or something like that, I suppose. The fighter pilots up there. There's a lot going on. I actually quite like it. The artist has written their name there, but I mean, yeah. I just don't know how it really quite matches up with the band and the type of sound that they have. But yeah, I always thought Mausoleum actually kind of interesting with their album art. So I'm not saying this is bad, but just thought I'd mention it because it kind of links a little bit with this one as well, where the album art completely has nothing at all really to do with the type of band that you're listening to. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, some of my least favourite, or album covers that I think could have been a little bit better. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I've been focusing a little bit on album covers for the last few episodes. Might change it up for the next one I do. All right, that's it for today. Hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this, and subscribe if you haven't. It's always good to see the subscription numbers going up, and yeah, always great too if people leave comments. And I'll be back later. All right, we'll see you. Bye.